lots of redrafting of how to introduce James Carville to a barn full of Maine Democrats. I think I had it down to 12 words, which is, James, thank you for coming, and ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Carville.
People and seafood. What's that not like? Huh? What a great place. What a great place. What a great bunch we got here. I'll tell you what, man, this is really, really remarkable. Great folks. Just a tremendous time I've had up here and seeing everybody, and man, the enthusiasm in the room. I mean, just from everything that I've seen to our county, to our Senate candidate, I mean, what energy we have with our Gubernatorial candidate, Congressional, all across the board. You know, I'll tell you a little story. You know, the Cajuns always like to tell stories. You know, I have two daughters, and I'll tell you what, you can't tell kids today. You know, it used to be you tell your kids what to do, and they would do it. Not that don't work like that anymore. So about 3 years ago, my daughter, who now goes to Southmore College, came down. I was sitting in my house in New Orleans, in the living room, trying to read the paper. She said, "Daddy, would you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure, honey, what's that?" She said, "But you give me a ride to the French Quarter." I said, "Well, why do you want to go to the French Quarter?" She said, "Well, I started going to a literary festival." And I said, "Well, when I was a teenager, and I went to the French Quarter, it wasn't for literary." So I was trying to, you know, so I get in the car, and I'm taking it, and it's way back, and, you know, y'all have been there, you've seen pictures, the streets are really narrow, you know, things laid out in 17, whatever. I'm trying to find a friend of mine called me on the phone. And I'm talking to him, and I go around the corner, and the next thing I know, this policeman is like motioning me over. And I look at him and I said, "Honey, look, this guy's going to try to get Daddy a ticket for talking on the phone and driving. You, whatever I say, you just back me up, okay?" She said, "Daddy, I don't think I should lie. I go to Sacred Heart. Your mom spent all that money on another stuff. You're not supposed to lie. Honor your father-in-law. Just whatever." I said, "No, okay." So the guy comes up to the car. Pretty nice stuff, but right now I said, "Oh, wait, Mr. Carville, sorry about the ticket. Look, started talking on the phone, and last week somebody from Maine was down here, and the guy was talking on the phone, ran over him, and got a bad image of the city, you know, and so he cracking down on that." And I said, "Wait a minute, you thought I was talking on the phone?" He said, "Well, yeah, I was standing 30 feet from the head, throwing up the hill, and jabbing away." I said, "Oh, no, you got it all wrong. I wasn't talking on the phone, I was just scratching my head." That don't sound fair. I thought, well, of course I was over. Ask my daughter. She was sitting here. She saw the whole thing. So he says, I said, "You know what? She looks like an honest young lady, young girl." I think, I said, "Young lady, I saw your father. He comes around the corner. He got a phone up to his ear. To me, it clearly looks like he's talking on the phone. Yet, he claims he was just scratching his ear. Now, you were sitting there the whole time. What do you have to say about all that?" He said, "You know, I've been brought up to do whatever my parents tell me to do." And my mama always says, "Never argue with Daddy when he's been drinking." I picked up the paper this morning, and I read that the Republicans are having Chris Christie come talk to them. You had me. Wait a minute, no, we fact-based people. All right, we know there's global warming, we know there's evolution, and let's just admit it. In this matchup, the Republicans have the heavyweight. Now, and he comes to Maine, as I came, you know, he'll probably go to Boston for a fundraiser there. And as he enters the state, when he crosses the river, whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce, he's going to see a sign. It says, "Welcome to Maine, open for business." That your governor put up. What he has to realize is that one highway sign is the sum and substance of Paul LePage's economic program. No, wait. we let anything happen to us. You know, as I spend time here and I talk to people, and of course, I knew a lot about your governor is very well known, and believe me, it's a virus which has escaped the borders of Maine. I'll tell you that. We know. And I talk to Mike, and I talk to people, and it strikes me that there's one huge apparent difference that explains everything. Everything. And every morning that Paulo Page gets up, he says, today, what can I do to help the Tea Party? The most important thing for me in my life, for me to accomplish, is to advance my ideology. That's who I serve. I serve an ideology. Everything about Mike. Everything from talking to him and listening to his speech and looking at his record is, he gets up every morning and says, how can I help the people of Maine? That's the essence of the difference. Are we gonna have a governor about people? Or an ideology. It was so apparent. You talk about, again, I like to read the local paper. LePage's chief strategist put out a press release and said that Congressman Michaud did not have anything to do with the veterans bills. Well, actually, he stayed up all night negotiating. Well, here it is, your press release. Because if you're representing an ideology, and you veto 156 bills and you send out a press release, you've done something. If you stay up 24 hours negotiating to help millions of veterans and you don't send out a press release, you really haven't done anything. It doesn't count. And that's the difference. That's the difference. That's what it's about. Now, I want to get back to the highway side. Because it's really something, because therein, like, how is that sign working? It's a nice sign. I don't want to attack the sign. Well, what kind of record is that sign? Well, from 2009 to 2013, it's worked better than one sign somewhere else because Maine was 49th in GDP growth. So if that's, at least it beat one other sign. So maybe the worst sign ever, just a second out of 50. I don't want it. Wait a minute, no. Out of the 50 states, Maine, in creating jobs, that sign beat 9 other signs. It's 41st. Well, that's not too good. The sign, damn, there's 2 other than on personal income growth, Maine ranks 48th. So the sign beat 2 other signs. 4 more years of this guy, and Maine is going to be known as the Mississippi of the North. Alright? How? And so, wait a minute. What about, you can't take, that's not fair, take your region. Okay. There's 6 states in New England. 5 of them have Democratic governors. New England has gained 116% of the jobs that were lost during the Bush recession. Well, what about Obama? The whole United States. Actually, the United States has gained 106% of the jobs that were lost during the recession. And now we come to the sign. It's the sign. It beat one other state in GDP. It beat 2 others in job growth. Maine, 116% in the region, 106% in the country. Pick a number. How many people picked 63%? If you did, you were right. This is sorry. This is cannot stand. Not a state that has as hard a working people as this state has. Not in this state is 63% compared to 116% in the region. And you know what he says when they ask him about it? It's the liberals. Okay. There are no liberals in Vermont. It's the people on welfare. There's no people on welfare in Massachusetts. Well, it's the press. I'm sorry, there's no newspapers in Connecticut. Everything is somebody else's fault. Everything somebody this guy cannot take responsibility for anything. He sits there. And as he cowers to an ideology, as he places every hope in the state in a stupid highway sign, and he's got the 49th worst record in the country, it's always somebody else's fault. Blame somebody. It's poor people. I'll tell you whose fault it is. It's some single mother with 2 children working at the Walmart. Whose fault it is some veteran comes home and can't find a job. Whose fault it is that somebody's trying to help take care of a sick parent. That's whose fault. It's not my fault, not the governor's fault. Who, me? Who, me? And what state in this country would represent more of a sense of taking responsibility, a political issue? You know, I've always been interested in politics. And I think of Maine. Think of what you've had here. Giants. In the farce of political timber, this thing stands out. Margaret Chase Smith, Ed Muskie, George Mitchell. These are like giant pines. In the midst of all of that, these giant pines, we have a toothpick sitting behind the governor's desk. Well, maybe a toothpick might be big, maybe a little piece of sawdust. But
I'm ready now.
let's move forward here, because I'll tell you something. What happened last time, hear about that? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. All right, now, from this moment on, the trauma of 2010 and its aftermath are now gone. We're not traumatized anymore. We're determined. We're determined. We're not going to have the same thing happen. If you see somebody that has a sign or says they may vote for the third party, you quietly take them aside and explain to them. That voting failure is like voting for LePage. We're not going to do that. And we're going to find out. We're going to say, all right, today this is what I want to do. Go to the party. Go to campaign. I want my walking list by this day. I want my phone list. I want to have a fundraiser in my neighborhood. Can I get Mike to call in for me? What can I do? No more. We're not going to be traumatized. We're not going to be panicked, but we're going to be determined. We're going to be determined. And we're not going to let this thing get away from us. All right? So, don't try to conjure up doomsday scenarios in your head. Don't do that. Just say very forcefully, very determined, For the next 93 days, hey, maybe this October I won't be able to take the hike that I like to take. I got to do something else. Maybe I can't go to the Patriots game on Sunday because I got to do something else. Whatever it is. Think of the giants that have come before. Think of this. Think of the state. Think of what you've been through. It's happened. You can't unring a bell. But come November, a different bell is going to ring. Ideology is not going to be first. The people of the state are going to be first. That is the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it was. It's not that way now. But you know, Michael, I came up here, I just promised you one thing. Keep the sign, just so I can remember when I come. That there is a little good in every human being. At least he had one thing of an economic strategy, the stupid sign. I just want to be sure that I give him credit for it. So, you tremendous people, you got a lot of work to do between now and then. I don't have any doubt that you're going to get the job done. And I know that you're going to be determined. You extract, we don't have time for mistakes. We don't have time for anything else. We got a job to do between now and November, and come election night, I won't be watching what's coming out here. We got a job to do to follow this ticket. I certainly don't want to slide anybody else. We didn't want to talk about the governor's race. But the more that you take the governor, the more you're going to take our Senate candidates, the more you're going to take our House candidates, the more you're going to take our state Senate candidates, the more you're going to take our House Representatives candidates. Clarify the distinctions you can draw. Stay on message. Get your list. Be sure that people understand what's at stake, who we're voting for, what we're voting for, and who we're putting first. Thank you all very much.